Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
All right, and welcome to the GSMC Soccer Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Boy, oh boy, what a World Cup we've had, huh? I mean, I don't really think there's been one bad game so far. Maybe Sweden versus South Korea, but even then, so I mean, Sweden was like, I'm talking about like boring too, like the ones that the casual fans complain about. The people who hate soccer, pretty much, they're like, you know, like you don't want to see a game where one team has about a couple shots, the other team has like one. All right, those type of boring games. Like, I don't think we've had that so far. Like I said, Sweden, South Korea, that was 1-0, but I mean, Sweden had like 16 shots or something like that. All right. Like, there hasn't been a true boring game yet. All right, Germany-Mexico was fun. We'll be talking about that in the first segment. Argentina-Iceland was fun. Iceland was playing 10 in the back, and it was a joy to watch. Okay? Brazil-Switzerland was fun to watch. Egypt-Uruguay, for as boring as it was in the first half, was good in the second half. Okay? Russia-Saudi Arabia had 5 goals in there. Granted, they were all from Russia, but nonetheless, it was entertaining. All right, Peru-Denmark. Peru had a bunch of chances. Denmark scored. I mean, can't complain. All these games have been great. All right, and we got a bunch of good games going on tomorrow. I think, what is it, Group H with Colombia, Poland, Senegal, and Japan. I think that might be my favorite group, just given the fact that there's no true, like, Colombia is the best team in that group, but I feel that they're not far and away the best team in that group. You know what I'm saying? All right, but nonetheless, let me tell you what's going on for today's show. So obviously we had a bunch of games go on, okay? We had games going on today, 3 of them. Sweden, South Korea, Belgium, Panama, England, Tunisia. All right, England almost pulled in England, but they didn't. Barely got lucky. All right, we had Germany, Mexico, Peru, Denmark, Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, Serbia. So we had a bunch of games going on. We're going to try and get to them all, okay? We're going to spend this segment talking Germany, Mexico. Next up, we'll go Argentina, Iceland. All right, and we're going to do 2 games in the next segment. We'll go Argentina, Iceland. All right, and then we'll go England, Tunisia, Brazil, Switzerland in the third, along with my thoughts on France and Australia's game. Okay, and then for the fourth segment, we'll cover anything we haven't talked about. We'll talk briefly about it all. Okay, so I want to get through the big games first. All right. But nonetheless, getting into this one, Germany, Mexico, okay? Germany won the 2014 World Cup, as we remember, beat Argentina, Mario Götze, okay? Mario Götze obviously hit the game winner and whatnot, but now they're on to bigger and better things, like trying to win this World Cup. Obviously, they're the favorites, #1 team in the world, all right? And you figured, at least most, I'd like to say that I thought Mexico had a decent chance in this one, but nonetheless, most figured Germany was going to win this one by easy margin. I mean, why wouldn't you? Looking at the Confederations Cup last year, Mexico brought their #1 team. Germany played with a bunch of second-team players. It beat Mexico 4-1. Okay? So, I mean, why would you think differently for this one? All right? You even had Mexican fans thinking that Germany was going to win and stuff. I mean, on paper, it looked that way. All right, when you put the teams up to each other, I mean, Germany's second team could go far in this World Cup. But nonetheless, I mean, you see the lineup that Juan Carlos Osorio puts out. You got Chicharito up top, Vela on the right wing, Lozano on the left, Herrera, and Guardado in the middle. Who else was in the middle? You had Layun out there kind of playing. Layun is, we'll talk about Layun in a bit, but we had that. Gallardo in left back, Moreno center, Ayala center, and then Salcedo on the right, along with Ochoa playing keeper. I believe for Germany, the starting lineup was Werner up top. Okay. You had Muller, Ozil, Draxler, the three playing behind him. Toni Kroos, Sami Khedira in the middle. Then you had Kimmich, Boateng, Hummels, and then Plattenhardt as the back four, of course, with Neuer being the keeper. All right. I think maybe, actually, I like the lineup that Germany put out. Maybe you go, I was going to say maybe you play Gundogan in the middle or find a spot for Royce. But, I don't know. I like Khedira and Kroos in the middle. At least before the game. All right. So, the game starts. Boom. From the start, within the first minute, Irving Lozano gets a chance to score, but Boateng gets there at the last minute, deflects it up out for a corner, I believe it was. Okay, and that's one thing that I liked about Mexico in this game was that they came out swinging at Germany. Figuratively, obviously. All right, and that's one thing I think that, like, that's why we've had a bunch of great games so far in this World Cup, because, of course, we have you have your Giants playing, like the Argentinas playing Iceland and all that. Of course, Iceland sat back, but they tried to go out and score. It wasn't just a matter of, yeah, we're going to try and take a 0-0 draw. Iceland had chances in that game. Okay? We even had Tunisia barely losing to England today, 2-1. All right? These teams aren't really afraid of, well, at least they aren't playing like they're afraid of these top teams, the Argentinas, the Germanys, and whatnot. Okay? And that's a big plus. In Mexico, I mean, you had Juan Carlos Osorio before the game saying that we're not going to come out and sit back. We're going to come out trying to win and attack. That's exactly what they did in the first half. All right, I believe Mexico in the first half finished with 10 shots. I believe it was. Let's see. Let's look at the first half statistics. So first half, 10 shots, 4 on target. Germany had 8, 5 on target. 8 shots, 5 on target, I should say. All right, Germany had 64% possession. All right. First half, like I said, back and forth. Germany's had chances. Mexico's had chances, and then 35th minute comes. Mexico's on a counter, and their counter was deadly against Germany, let me tell you. All right. I don't want to say deadly given the fact that they didn't capitalize on about the majority of them, but given the fact that what I meant was like their counterattack was, you could tell, was affecting Germany. All right, but nonetheless, you got Irving Lozano scoring in the 35th minute off an assist from Chicharito. Okay, and I mean, everyone's just about in shock. I'm checking social media because I just love to see what other people are saying and whatnot as far as the games that are played and all that. And people are just like, wait, what's going on here? Because it's not like Germany was playing bad. It's just Mexico was going toe-to-toe with them. Okay, so the first half ends up ending 1-0. And there was a save, too, Ochoa had. It was a free kick. I think it was Toni Kroos who took it. Ochoa barely got to it, pushed it up enough to where it bounced off the post and the crossbar and out. Well, out into the player field, they cleared it. I mean, that guy, I'm not sure really what it is about the World Cup, but that simply just brings the best out of him. All right, he finished this game with 9 saves, but nonetheless, first half ends 0-0. And then for the second half statistics, look at this. Germany had the ball 68% of the time. All right, took 18 shots. All right, this was the equivalent of, I don't want to say that given the fact that Mexico attacked. But like, you know those games on FIFA. You play if you play FIFA, you know, all right, you'll play a game where you'll have about 20 or 25 shots or whatever. Sometimes about 15 of them are on goal. You don't get a goal. You lose to a guy because he took like 2 shots and had 1 on goal and scored that 1 on goal. All right, that was this game, I think. All right, because like I said, Germany had 18 shots in the second half. 4 of them were on target. That's not great. All right, Mexico only had 3 shots, none of them on target. 32% possession. In total, Germany had 26 shots, 9 on target. All right. 66% possession. I mean, come on now. All right, so second half gets here, like I said. And you could already tell from the jump that Mexico's goal in that second half was to defend and play on the counter. Obviously, didn't have too many chances to counter in the second half. All right, weren't as active as far as that. So more so, we're just defending the entire time. All right, you get Edson Alvarez coming in for Carlos Vela in the 58th minute. And that's one thing, too, okay? Juan Carlos Osorio's always been questioned as far as him being the Mexico manager, whether it's his rotations, tactics, or even substitutions. This was one where if Germany ended up taking a point or coming back and winning it, he would have never heard the end of it, okay? Because you take out Carlos Vela in the 58th minute, who has been one of your biggest creators in that match, okay? For Edson Alvarez, that's a sub that worked out. All right, then you take out Irving Lozano, who was probably your best player on the pitch while he was out there for Raul Jimenez. Again, it was a bit of a head scratcher, but he knew what he was doing because it worked out. And then in the 74th minute, one that I was like, oh, I think Germany's going to come and score, was when they subbed out Andres Guardado and put in Rafa Marquez. Rafa Marquez is about 1,000,000 years old. All right, but somehow, some way, the guy gets the job done. All right. Obviously, he's not capable of playing a full 90 minutes anymore. I don't think he's even capable of playing more than 20. All right. But nonetheless, he came in and he did a job well. All right. I think I do understand that Jimenez substitution now for Lozano. All right. Because like I said, Mexico was playing more defensive. Jimenez does well to track back and disrupt some of the wingers. Like, he's not a world-class defender or anything like that. But one where he's going to frustrate you a bit. All right. His work rate's really good. So I got that one. I think that's an Alvarez sub. Like I said, I wasn't happy with it or whatnot. Like, at the time it happened, after the game, obviously, because you see how the Edson Alvarez played, but nonetheless, he played well out there. All right, and Germany, I think their biggest problem in this match is they tried nothing different. It was the same thing. Okay, just bomb forward and hope for the best, and the best never came. All right. I mean, you had chances after chance after chance, but a lot of their shots came from outside the box. And I'll give them credit. I mean, a lot of them were low through trapping and stuff. Made Ochoa think a bit as far as having to make the save. But, I mean, taking outside the box shots isn't normally going to get you a bunch of goals. All right? I mean, you're lucky if you get maybe a goal from outside the box in a game. All right? But if also, they were trying to play down the wing with the outside backs and whatnot. Timo Werner was very involved. I mean, he's going to be a great player for Germany going forward. And, I mean, I'm sure Bayern Munich going to try and swoop up on him to come play for them. But nonetheless, I mean, Germany just couldn't get it done. They were unlucky. But I will say this. I think Mexico did deserve the win. Okay? Germany did have the most chances, but given the way Mexico ran their tactics and all, they executed it. They did everything perfect. Okay? Juan Carlos Osorio said after the game that their goal was to score on Germany, and pretty much after that, sit back a bit and counter. And that's exactly what they did. They executed the game plan, and that's what got them the win. And I think, too, that this is their biggest win ever. All right. Obviously, you have the round of 16 game win against Bulgaria. I think that was, in 86? All right. You got the game against Croatia last year. Or not last year, last World Cup. That helped them get out the group. Let's see. Am I missing anything else? I think the Gold Cup game, or the gold medal game in the Olympics against Brazil back in, 2020 or 2012 was a big one. People were saying, oh, it's the Olympics, they don't bring their top team, but people fail to realize that Brazil team is basically the team that's in the World Cup right now, playing. All right. But I do think that this is Mexico's biggest win. I get it's a group stage game and all that, but nonetheless, you beat the number one team in the nation, in the world, and also the defending champs. All right. As far as Germany goes, I mean, it was a bit worrying that they didn't switch their tactics, but nonetheless, I think they'll be fine here. Okay, it's Germany, and I'm sure Joachim Löw is going to find another way to beat South Korea. They'll beat South Korea. All right, they play Sweden next, so I think they can beat Sweden next up. All right, which will be on Saturday, I believe. So, I mean, like I said, though, it was a bit of a shock to everyone that Mexico ended up beating the number one team in the world and the defending champs. So, I mean, that bodes well for Mexico, given the fact that they win their group. They most likely avoid Brazil and probably going to have to play Switzerland or either Serbia in that round of 16. That's even better for them. So, we'll see what ends up going down. But nonetheless, we're going to wrap it up here. Next up, like I said, we're going to be talking Argentina, Iceland, and also, did I say France, Australia? I think I did. So, stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
Are you looking to get your college football fix? Looking to get the latest news on your favorite school's team? The GSMC College Football Podcast is your ticket to all things college football. Join us as we talk college football from the national championship, the college rivalries, the bowl game, to the Heisman Trophy. To which conference is the best? We've got you covered for the Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, the Pac-12, ACC, and everything in between. Download the GSMC College Football Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Soccer Podcast. We spent that first segment on Germany, Mexico. Now we're going to talk a bit about Argentina and Iceland. All right. Obviously, we saw what Ronaldo did on Friday against Spain. Hat-trick, hero, tied the game up, helped Portugal escape with some points. Okay? And now the pressure was on Messi. All right, Ronaldo did this. What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do to make us think that you're the best again? And man, it's crazy how people flip-flop. All right? How much they do. I have it this way, okay? Ronaldo and Messi are definitely, without a doubt, the two best players on this planet as far as the game of football goes. Okay? And it's not close. I don't care if your favorite player is Neymar. Mohamed Salah is not on their level yet. All right? Anyone that you bring up is not better than Messi or Ronaldo. All right? That's the truth. You could think otherwise, but simply put, you're wrong. Okay? And people like me, I have it where I prefer watching Messi play because I like the way he plays. That doesn't take anything away from Ronaldo. They play different positions. Messi plays more centrally, where he's going to go one-on-one, ball at his feet. Ronaldo is more into open space, where he can do damage there. All right. But nonetheless, of course, like I said, Ronaldo got his hat trick, so what are you going to do, Messi? And didn't look great for Messi. All right. They end up drawing 1-1 with Iceland. All right. And Iceland's not a bad team. Granted, their goalkeeper is a film director and their manager is a dentist. But, Iceland know what kind of team they are. All right. Meaning they know they don't have the firepower to compete with a lot of these teams out here. But they know what tactics to run, so that way they do have a shot. All right, and that's what they did in the Euros. That's what made them make it to the quarterfinal. And that's what they did here against Argentina. People are going to get mad at Iceland because they parked the bus. Fact of the matter is, Iceland had a couple of chances in this one to score. They hit one goal. All right, looking at the stats, in the first half, they took 8 shots. Second half, Iceland was defending for their lives. I'll give you that, whatever. All right, but first half, they were active. Took 8 shots, 2 of them were on target. Like I said, they got a goal. Argentina had the majority of possession, but, do you really expect Iceland to keep the ball against Argentina? No, they'd never. All right. So, as far as the full game stats, Argentina finished with 77% possession, 27 shots, 7 of them on target. All right. And fact of the matter is, they only put up 1 goal. Okay. So, obviously, getting into the game, you have Aguero in the 19th minute scoring. Before that, too, Iceland had a chance. I can't remember exactly what the player's name was, but nonetheless, they had pretty much like an open net coming down the left side of the box. And just didn't angle his body enough to where the ball was on goal. All right, so he ends up hitting it out to the left side of the goal and does not score there. But like I said, Aguero scores in the 19th minute. Then you got Alfred Finn Bogason scoring in the 23rd minute, which made it 1-1. All right, so first half ends. Second half comes, and then this is when it happens. All right, in the 64th minute, Messi gets an opportunity to take a penalty kick. Okay? And obviously all the pressure's on him. Like I said, Ronaldo got the goal that helped Portugal come away with points. Okay, with a point. And Messi could do a job here where we've seen Iceland pretty much just defend for their lives. They're not attacking. They're not taking shots. Basically, Argentina scores here and game opens up because Iceland's going to have to try and go out and score and get some points, which is going to be better for Argentina given the fact that when the game opens up, they play better. All right, so if Messi hits this penalty, Argentina's win is seemingly locked up. All right, he steps up, runs up, shoots it to his left. It gets blocked by the film director keeper. All right, cool little fact about that too. Iceland's goalie did direct their little World Cup hype video, World Cup commercial video. So that's a nice little thing there too. But like I said, penalty gets blocked. And I knew as soon as he missed what was going to happen. All right. Because before, like Fox Sports, they've been covering the World Cup and all since they got the rights and whatnot. So I watched their show at the end of the day just to recap and all that. Before they even show Messi's penalty kick, they show Ronaldo's. All right. Show him making it. Then they'll show Messi's of him missing. Like I said, we can't ever get away from the comparisons, I guess. All right. But nonetheless, he misses. Game goes on. Argentina has chances, but they can't get the ball in the back of the net. It's just Iceland was way too organized. All right, and that's what I love watching about Iceland. I get that they parked the bus, and I get that's not the most popular thing or anything like that, but you have to appreciate the tactics and the execution of it. All right, I kind of pointed to Floyd Mayweather. All right, you got to appreciate the styles. People hated watching Floyd because the guy pretty much was a defensive boxer who was going to pick and choose his moments and win that way. That's Iceland. Okay? Granted, they don't have the same amount of success as a Floyd Mayweather did, but nonetheless, Iceland's going to play defensive and they're going to pick and choose their moments to score. All right? And did you ever think that anyone would compare Floyd Mayweather to Iceland? I didn't think so. All right? But like I said, nonetheless, I mean, the game ends in a tie. And I'm going to say this in Messi's defense. Yes, he missed the penalty. Okay? But did he play a bad game? All right? I get he missed the penalty and all that, but other than that, did he play terrible? Did he not have a few shots on target? Okay? And I mean, what more can you expect the guy to do when you basically got like about 6 defenders on him at all times? The fact that he could even get some shots off and come close to scoring as far as the shots outside the box that he had was a bit ridiculous. All right? But nonetheless, I mean, people are going to look at that missed penalty and just automatically assume he played poorly. He didn't play poorly. He was active the entire match, and Argentina were playing through him the entire time. Okay? The only person I blame for that loss is the coach, Sampoli. All right? I don't get why he refuses to play Dybala with Messi. I could care less that they both play central. Dybala was a guy who started out on the right side. Messi's a guy who played on the right side. You're telling me that you can't put either of them there? These are professional soccer players. Okay? And you're going to tell me they can't do that? You're not going to have 2 of your best players on the field at the same time? I mean, that just kind of shows me that Argentina is not going to win the World Cup this year. Okay? I don't have any faith in their coach. So we'll see. But nonetheless, like I said, Messi didn't even play bad. All right? He had the missed penalty. People miss penalties all the time. I mean, they don't get as much heat as Messi does. I understand Messi's got a bit of a different... They talk about him differently, just given that he's one of the best in the... Well, he's, one of the best in the world. Okay? But nonetheless, I wouldn't say Messi went out and played a terrible game. But of course, that's going to be the narrative. Ronaldo played great. Had a hat-trick. Messi missed a penalty. Played poorly. They tied Iceland. Okay? And I mean, this is going to be a tough group for Argentina to make it out. Alright, obviously, I'd still say that they come out and win it. But nonetheless, I mean, Croatia is a very good team. Maybe one of the biggest dark horses in this tournament. Alright, who beat Nigeria. I mean, who's to say that they can't beat Argentina? Alright? Their midfield is one of the best, I'd say, in the tournament. I mean, you got Rakitic and Modric in the middle. I'd say Rakitic is probably one of Barcelona's best midfielders, if not the best. All right. Obviously, you got Iniesta on that team, or he was on that team, but Iniesta was a bit past his time. All right. Obviously, in their prime, Rakitic can't shine Iniesta's boots, but I'd say that, you had the best midfielder on Madrid and the best on Barca in that midfield for Croatia. All right. That's going to cause some troubles for Argentina. All right. And let's just talk about Croatia's game here. Croatia, the team. All right. So like I said, you have Rakitic, Modric. You got Perisic, Mandzukic, Lovren. who I did get mixed up. I thought he played for Serbia, but nonetheless, like I said, it was a mix-up there. All right, you got Kovacic. I mean, they have a very good team. They ended up beating Nigeria 2-0. I figured that this Nigeria-Croatia game was going to be a lot better than what it turned out. I think Nigeria, the problem with them is that they're just too young. They're a World Cup too early. 2022, Nigeria could make a run into the quarterfinals, I'd say. All right. But nonetheless, you had an own goal from, let's see, how do we pronounce this? Yannickaro Edebo. All right. Own goal from him. And then you had Modric sinking in a penalty, which made it 2-0. All right. And like I said, Croatia, like I said, one of the biggest dark horses in this tournament to win it. And this could be a World Cup where one of the dark horses do win it. Croatia, Uruguay. I mean, you had Mexico beating Germany. All right. I would not be surprised. These top teams have not looked entirely great. Belgium played well against Panama. I mean, it is Panama. Germany lost to Mexico, like I said. Argentina drew with Iceland. Brazil drew with Switzerland, which we're going to talk about in the next segment. France didn't really look too convincing against Australia. I mean, this could be anyone's World Cup. All right. But nonetheless, it is going to be tough for Argentina to get out because let's say they draw against Croatia. That's no guarantee that they're going to beat Nigeria. Nigeria still has quality. They're just extremely young. All right. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. But nonetheless, this has been a great World Cup, though, so far, I'd say. We're going to wrap it up here. Next up, we're going to be talking Brazil, Switzerland. Probably throw in another game. Maybe we'll throw in a couple other ones after that to talk about it. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Soccer Podcast. So far today, we've talked Germany, Mexico, we've talked Argentina, Iceland. We also talked about Croatia, Nigeria a bit too, more so about Argentina going up against Croatia and whatnot. All right, now we're going to talk Brazil, Switzerland, and let's see what other games should we talk about for this segment. Yeah, Brazil, Switzerland. We'll touch on them all. All right, but nonetheless, let's get into that one. All right. So Brazil, Switzerland. I mean, let's not forget 2014 7-1 game. Germany beats Brazil. All right, and this World Cup is basically Brazil's redemption story. All right, there is no other success for Brazil in this tournament other than winning the World Cup. You lose in the final, it's not a successful World Cup. You lose in the semis, it's definitely not a successful World Cup. Anything before that, and it's a complete failure. Okay? So you figure Brazil's got to come out ready to go. And they look like it, at least for the first part of the match, right up until they scored. All right, Brazil's playing well, playing like Brazil. All right, the footwork, the flair, all of it. They got it all in this game to start. All right? It's looking like it's going to be a tough go of it for Switzerland. Brazil end up scoring in the 20th minute. Felipe Coutinho scores. Banger. Absolute beauty of a goal. All right. He's on the left side of the 18. Still on top of the box, but more so to the left side, like I said. Curls it out. Hits the post in. Like I said, perfect goal. Typical Brazil goal. I mean, the team was looking great for the first 20 minutes of the match. Okay. After that, I'm not really sure what happened to Brazil. It's not even like Switzerland was playing back or anything like that. It's just Brazil couldn't create. All right. Neymar didn't have a really good go of it. Gabriel Jesus had some moments. All right. Willian would look like he was a little bit dangerous on the right side. But it's just a point where it doesn't matter if you can't get it done. Okay. And they simply couldn't get it done. All right. And I mean, like I said, after they scored, it's just like, I'm not sure if they got overconfident or what exactly happened, but Brazil didn't look good. Okay? It didn't look good at all. They weren't connecting or anything like that. So when the match is being played, either way, they're still up 1-0. They finished the first half up 1-0. And you figure Brazil's got this or whatever. Switzerland hasn't really done much either. All right? So it's like this was still a fun game due to the chances at the end, but nonetheless, I mean, both teams just seem kind of out of it. Okay? Like I said, first half, I mean, didn't really show us that Switzerland had any chances of getting a goal in this game. They just didn't play well at all. All right. And the first half ends, like I said. Second half comes, and of course, Switzerland ended up scoring. You got Steven Zuber scoring 5 minutes after the second half has started. All right, off of a corner, I believe it was. And if you saw that goal, I mean, there's no way that should have been allowed. Meaning, Brazil should have been better there. Okay? The goal was literally so close to the net where Alisson could have came out and caught it or punched it out. He should have. Okay? And then you got about 6 different defenders in that area, and you're telling me none of them could get to that ball? All right, Shaqiri put such a perfectly placed ball. You got 6 guys there, and none of them are going to get to it? I don't buy that. All right? I think it was lack of assertiveness there. Someone needed to take charge. Probably should have been Alisson, but he didn't. Okay? And they end up getting up the goal. And the rest of the game is being played. Let's see. Let's look at the second half statistics. All right? Brazil took 16 shots in that second half. Not one of them went in. 4 of them were on target. Okay? And I just think it was one of those things where it's just like I said, Brazil just didn't play well. When they came close, it was too late. Okay? Brazil should have scored a whole lot more here. And simply couldn't. And I do think that it was just a matter of overconfidence. All right? This Brazil team knows they're good. And that might be a bit of a problem. All right? And like I said, man, I mean, I'm not going to overreact to this or anything like that. I'm just more so talking about this game itself. Okay, I'm sure Brazil's still going to win the group and whatnot and make it out and be fine in the World Cup. But it's just a point where they were just disappointing here. Okay? You expect more out of this Brazil team. There's teams where you're happy if they win, and there's teams where they winning, they obviously have to do, but you gotta look good doing it. Kind of like, that's like the pressure of playing for Real Madrid. We already know you're gonna win. Okay? So now it's just a matter of, you gotta look good doing it. You gotta play well. Okay? And that's what I've always felt is a bit unfair as far as soccer and all, but nonetheless, I mean, I get it. All right? When you got Neymar, Gabriel Jesus, Bobby Firmino off the bench, Willian. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this Brazil squad. Okay, you got Neymar, Firmino, Jesus, Willian, all starters on their teams. All had great seasons. Coutinho, Casemiro, Douglas Costa, Paulinho, Fred, Fernandinho, Tyson, Renato Gasco, all good players. All guys who could probably start for other national teams. Marcelo, Marquinhos, Danilo, Thiago Silva, Miranda, Felipe Luis, Wagner, Romel, all good players. Alisson, Ederson, Casio, all great keepers. Okay? This team is stacked from top to bottom. But of course, you couldn't get 3 points against Switzerland. Alright? But I'm sure Brazil will be fine. I mean, they're behind Serbia right now in the group. Serbia ended up beating Costa Rica 1-0. All right, you had Kolarov scoring probably the best free kick goal of the tournament so far. I'd say it was better than Ronaldo's. All right, and Ronaldo's came at like a late time and stuff. It was a big moment, but Kolarov, as far as just pure skill and all, that was a great free kick there. All right, wasn't much else going on in that game. Costa Rica coming into this tournament, like I said, they just didn't look good, and I just don't think they're going to put out a good showing like they did in 2014. All right, but nonetheless, I mean, Serbia's got a very good squad. I do think that it's going to be Brazil and Switzerland making it out. All right, I do think that, I don't know, Serbia does have a chance. I might be underrating Serbia a little bit, okay? But nonetheless, I think, yeah, it'll be Brazil winning the group, I believe, and then I think it'll be Serbia or Switzerland coming in second, okay? But nonetheless, I mean, I think Brazil will step up in their next match. I think they're playing Costa Rica next. They got Serbia in the final match of the group. That's going to be a good one there because that could be one where, I mean, possibly that could be for first place in the group. All right. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. Like I said, I don't expect much from Costa Rica. They had a good run in 2014, but I think that's just about over with here. All right. So let's see, what else should we talk about here? We'll push France over to the next segment. Belgium and Panama. All right, we'll talk about that right now. I mean, Belgium did what they were supposed to today. Dominated Panama, 1-3-0. All right, you had Lukaku scoring twice. Won a very good trip it came off of a decent run from Hazard. Kevin De Bruyne had a perfect pass in the box to Lukaku. And then, who got that other goal? Oh, yeah, Mertens. How could I forget the goal of the tournament so far, Mertens. All right, dude's on the right side. He's inside the box, on the right side of the box. Okay. Volleys it into the net from like a difficult position. Definitely the goal of the tournament so far. It's better than Nacho's. It's better than Ronaldo's. It's better than Kolarov's. Okay. Belgium have a great team. It's just a matter of delivering on expectations. This is their golden generation here. Okay. It's not going to get any better than this for them. De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, Axel Witsel. Let's go through their squad. All right. I mean, Belgium should be a team who could be favorites to win it. All right. Looking at them, you got Hazard, Lukaku, Mertens, De Bruyne, Witsel, Dembele, Toby Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Meunier, Company. All right, and then you got Courtois. I mean, those are all the notable players right there. I mean, there's no reason for this team not to make it to the semis. All right, I think a quarterfinal finish is a failed tournament for Belgium. All right, I'm not going to give them credit for beating Panama when Panama is in the World Cup for the first time ever. Like, it's not significant. You did what you were supposed to do. There's no praise for that. Okay? But I am looking forward to that Belgium and England game. That's going to be a very interesting one. And let me see exactly when they play. Is that the second game of the group? Or would it be... Yeah, it's going to be the third game of the group, the final game. So that'll probably be for... That'll be for the whoever wins the group there. All right. Right now, Belgium's on top of that group. Given the fact that England won 2-1, Belgium won 3-0, so they're up on aggregate, 2 goals plus, or not aggregate, goal differential, excuse me. Got it all mixed up. But yeah, they're up 2 goals right now on England. So it'll be very interesting to see how it all plays out in that group. All right. We'll be talking about England and Tunisia in the next segment. Final segment, we'll be talking about France, Australia, and then seeing what else we've missed so far. So we're going to wrap it up here. Like I said, we'll be talking about those games next, so stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Soccer Podcast. So far today, we've talked Mexico, Germany, Argentina, Iceland, Croatia, Nigeria, Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, Serbia, and Belgium, Panama. Now we're going to finish off, all right? Let's talk England, Tunisia. England almost did a full England. And you never do a full England, meaning they almost drew with a team they had no business drawing with. All right. England are a very polarizing team, intriguing team. All right. All kinds of quality on that team. And I don't know what it is about the big moment, but they shrink. Okay? Remember last World Cup? They had Italy, Uruguay, and Costa Rica in there. Didn't even make it out the group. All right, England should be a team that we regard as one of the top teams. No, they don't have the quality of an Argentina or whatnot, but they should do a whole lot better than what they have done. And I don't know. I mean, should we rate England that high? You got Harry Kane, who I think was the best out-and-out striker this year. I think he was better than Suarez. All right. And I'm not saying Kane's an overall better player. As far as the seasons they had, I'd say Kane was better. Raheem Sterling played extremely well with Manchester City. Yeah, I think I was just underrating England there. All right. They're not on the level of like Argentina or Germany or anything like that, but nonetheless, they do have quality to compete and at least take points and win games like that. All right. But nonetheless, I mean, the first 10 minutes come, England looking like they're going to score about 10 goals in this game. They end up getting one from Harry Kane, and it's looking great for England. Okay, it's looking like they're going to cruise to an easy win here. And it's basically the only game that's really going to be tough for them is the one against Belgium. All right, but nonetheless, that was not the case. So then you got Harry Kane scoring in the 11th minute. Tunisia is forced to make a sub in the 15th due to injury. 33rd minute comes, and good old Kyle Walker, all right, gives up a penalty. Ferjani Sassi takes the penalty, scores, makes it 1-1. All right. Tunisia, who isn't even the best team in their continent, is going toe-to-toe with England. 1-1 after one half. Second half comes. Sterling comes out for Rashford. Sterling didn't really play too well. Dele Alli comes out for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ruben Loftus-Cheek came in and played pretty well for those few, 15 or so minutes that he was out there. But nonetheless, it's not looking great for England this one. They did have a couple of decisions that probably should have been penalties, just given the fact that Harry Kane was basically wrestled to the ground. Okay? I think you even had if I'm not mistaken, the UFC even chipped in. Gave their 2 cents on it. All right? But nonetheless, yeah, I do think that maybe England should have gotten a penalty. All right? And Kane was trouble for this Tunisia side. I mean, as he should have been, but nonetheless, Kane looked great in this one. Okay? And, I mean, like I said, game's going down. England probably should have had a couple of penalty calls, nonetheless, did not get them. All right. And then, of course, 91st minute gets here. Ball's crossed in. Who gets to it? Harry Kane. All right. Ends up scoring, makes it 2-1, and that's all she wrote for Tunisia. As well as they played, I mean, I got to give them credit there. Okay. Tunisia, let's see. They're 21st in the FIFA rankings right now. All right, not necessarily a terrible team. They're ahead of the USA. They're ahead of Sweden, ahead of Senegal. Yeah, let's see, what teams are Tunisia ahead of in this World Cup? Ahead of Iceland, Costa Rica, Sweden, Senegal. Let's see, Serbia, Australia, Iran, Morocco, Egypt, Nigeria. Is that it? Panama, South Korea, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Russia. These World Cup rankings are terrible. Let's see, am I missing any other teams? I think there's no way Russia's the lowest ranked team in the World Cup, are they? I think they are. Let's see. Yeah. So, I mean, even though the FIFA rankings are a bit terrible or whatnot, Tunisia is ranked pretty high, all right? Nearly top 20. Okay? And I'm not going to go out and say they're world beaters or anything like that, but England probably should have had as much trouble as they did. Nonetheless, they got the job done, all right? England's never really been a team to do it the way you're probably supposed to. They always do it the hard way. Okay? So good on England winning there. Then we have France and Australia. And France was not convincing here for me. All right. I think they should have done better. I think they should have done more than a 2-1 win. And VAR, that's what helped them. All right, so let's see. You had Griezmann scoring in the 58th minute. All right, then you got Mile Jedinak scoring in the 62nd minute for Australia. And I mean, the first 2 goals in this game were penalties. All right. First half, consisted of really nothing. It was a yellow card, that was it. Looking at the stats for the first half for France, they had 5 shots, 4 of them on target. Couldn't put it in the net. Australia had 4 shots, so it's not like this was one where it was just France dominating the first half. Okay. Second half was one where they dominated more. They had 7 shots. Only 1 was on target. I'm assuming that was Pogba's. All right. Actually, it was ruled as an own goal. All right. Aziz Beck, all right, credited with the own goal. And like I said, France just didn't look convincing in this one. You can't tell me that you winning off of a penalty and own goal is a good performance to put out. All right. And looking at France's starting lineup, they went with a front 3 of Dembele, Griezmann, Mbappe, Tolisso, and Kanté, Pogba in the middle. You got Lucas Hernandez, Samuel Umtiti, Varane, and Pavard playing in the back 4. Obviously, Lloris being the keeper. And then off the bench, you had Fekir come off, Matuidi, and Giroud. All right, no Lamar, no Mendy in this one, no Sidibe. It's fine, but nonetheless, probably could have did more there. No Tim Cahill in this one either. Just brought on for the experience, I'm assuming so. All right, but nonetheless, Australia did well, I guess, to keep it close. All right. Now it's just a matter of, let's see, Australia's got to get points against Denmark and Peru. All right, so Australia's not technically out of it. France, I'm assuming, is going to win their group as they should. Okay, but fact is they did not look great against Australia, and that is a bit concerning. All right, that was one of my biggest problems with this France side is that usually it's tough to get them to perform the way they should with all these great players. Okay, so that game took place. Let's see, what else do we have? We had Sweden, South Korea today, this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was basically Sweden just dominated the entire match. They ended up winning 1-0. I believe they had 16 shots in this one. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's take a look at it. They had 15 shots. 4 of them on target. South Korea in total took 5 shots. 0 of them on target. Only 1 on target in the first half. All right. So, a deserved win for Sweden there. Then, let's see. We missed any games so far. Peru, Denmark. That was one where Peru should have done better, meaning you needed to put a couple in the net there. Peru had 17 total shots, 6 of them on target. Just simply unlucky for the side. Okay? Very unlucky. And it's a bit disappointing given that I did pick them to make it out the group. And I guess it does, at least them putting so many shots on target and taking so many shots shows that I wasn't crazy, right? I hope it does. Nonetheless, Denmark ended up getting the goal. 10 total shots, 3 of them were on target. And just Peru were unlucky. That's all it is there. All right. But nonetheless, that's all the games that took place over the weekend. Now we look forward to tomorrow's games. Tomorrow's going to be a real good set of games here. We got Colombia, Japan at 5 o'clock in the morning. Poland, Senegal. That's going to be a fun one. And then you got Russia, Egypt. I'll definitely be watching all 3 of them. All right. I'll be up from 5 to whatever. All right. But definitely looking forward to Group H. It's the only group that hasn't taken place yet. All right, and that's going to be a very difficult group, given the fact that Colombia is the best team in that group, but nonetheless, it's not like they're far and away the best team. And actually, yeah, I'd say they're the best team, but it's just I don't think they're going to be that dominant. They're not far and away the best team, Poland can make it out, Senegal can make it out, and Japan can make it out. Japan always tends to play well in matches in the World Cup. They don't always make it out the group, but nonetheless, they always put out a decent showing, I'd say. All right, so it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening tomorrow. Like I said, all 3 games should be good. All right, hopefully Mo Salah ends up starting for Egypt tomorrow. The Egyptian head coach said that they probably should have played Salah so I'm assuming he's going to be starting. All right, going to see what Russia does against Egypt, given the fact that they did a 5-0 against Saudi Arabia. All right, like I said, Colombia, Japan should be decent, and then Poland, Senegal should probably be the game of the day, to be honest. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. We talked about all the games over the weekend, covered them all, talked about tomorrow. All right, and like I said, we'll be back on Friday. Remember, for the World Cup, we're here Monday and Friday. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for listening to the GSMC Soccer Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. I will be back on Friday to recap all the stuff throughout the week, so stay tuned for that, and I will talk to you guys later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.